They didn't come from the grave. They came from the lab. The first heartbeat that didn't stop was recorded in a government facility beneath the ice. You were never supposed to hear about it. Subscribe to Think What If for more stories that push your imagination to the edge.
Channel 5 again, amplitude's climbing.
I see it. Hold the sample rate. Let's see if it repeats.
Switching to the cortical map. There, frontal cluster just lit up.
He's responding. Come on, stay with us.
Pattern stabilizing, we're in range.
The scientists called it a neural persistence event. The body was dead, but the brain refused to turn off. Electrodes fired, muscles twitched, the subject moved without thought. They thought it was a glitch in the monitoring system until it looked straight at them. One blink, one slow turn of the head. That was level 1, the awakening.
The rate on the Sabarot is accelerating.
Have we sequenced the RNA from the infected samples yet?
It begins small. A virus mutates, or a parasite finds a new host. In South America, Ophiocordyceps fungus hijacks ants, turning them into carriers that spread its spores. Now imagine that same parasite engineered in a lab to study brain control in mammals. That research exists. Tests in rodents show partial success. Behavior changes. Movement continues long after brain death. You can almost feel it now, the slight crawl at the base of your neck, wondering how close we already are.
From the lab immediately.
The subject is destabilized.
Level 2 arrives when infection learns to move faster than containment. In 2019, scientists discovered viruses that can alter aggression in mice. One gene flipped, and calm animals became violent. What if a virus like that jumped to humans? Hospitals would fill overnight. You'd hear the screams before you saw the faces. Fever, convulsion, then silence. The infected wouldn't die right away. They'd change. You'd see neighbors clawing at their own doors, families locking each other out. Humanity's first instinct would be to isolate, but isolation never lasts. Level 3 is when the dead walk. Not in a movie, but in morgues. In 2022, researchers revived brain activity in pig heads hours after death. Nerve cells fired again. Blood vessels reopened. It wasn't life, but it wasn't death either. A body that twitches without a heartbeat. A mouth that moves without a pulse. The line between alive and dead becomes a suggestion. How do you bury something that still moves? You'd smell it first. The stench of rot mixed with chemicals. Cities would reek of burnt disinfectant and fear. The streets would belong to the infected now. Power grids fail, governments fall, communication breaks. Level 4 begins here. Airborne particles carrying fragments of neural parasites drift with the wind. No bite needed, just a breath. You could be infected before you even knew it. How would you know who's safe anymore? The military would try to contain it. They always do. Quarantine zones, shoot-on-sight orders. Whole cities burned to stop the infection. But fire never kills ideas, and this virus would be more than flesh. It would be thought. Some survivors say they hear whispers from the infected, rhythmic sounds, almost like speech. Could the virus be learning? That's level 5, the evolution. At this stage, the infection doesn't just reanimate, it reorganizes. Cells adapt. The brain rewires. Infected groups begin to move in patterns, coordinated, strategic. They avoid traps. They set up ambushes. A hive mind begins to emerge. Scientists studying swarm intelligence would call it collective cognition. You'd call it terrifying. Imagine 100 bodies moving with one purpose, to hunt. You hide behind a broken wall. The air hums. Every footstep echoes in rhythm. They know where you are. You run, but running only buys time. The world above collapses. Humanity retreats underground. Subway tunnels, bunkers, sewers. The air tastes metallic. Batteries die. The dark grows heavier. People start disappearing in the night, taken without sound. That's level 6, the overrun. Society doesn't collapse all at once. It decays from the inside. Trust dies before people do. Would you share your last can of food, or would you hide it and lie? Children stop crying because crying gets you heard. Cities become ghost lands. Nature reclaims the ruins. The infected roam in silence now. No growls, no screams, only movement. Their skin pale as ash, their eyes hollow. They no longer look human, but somewhere behind the lifeless stare, fragments of memory flicker. They mimic gestures. They pause at old homes. One kneels beside a broken crib and doesn't move for hours. What are they remembering? A few humans remain, scattered, starving, watching the world reshape itself without them. Scientists in hidden labs still work. They whisper of a cure, a genetic reset that could end the infection. But to test it, they need a live subject, someone infected but not yet turned. That's when they find her, a child who hasn't changed after exposure. Her blood resists the virus. Hope returns. Briefly. Then comes level 7, the merge. The virus stops fighting. It adapts. It learns to coexist. The child becomes something new, neither living nor dead, a bridge between species. She walks through the infected, and they bow. Their movements follow her. A new order forms. Humanity's last defense turns into evolution's next step. You can almost hear her heartbeat syncing with theirs. Slow, heavy, unified. One rhythm for the entire planet. What would you do now? Would you destroy her or follow her? The scientists hesitate too long. The infection spreads again, not through blood, but through thought. People connected by shared memory. Dreams bleed into each other. The line between human and infected disappears. Cities glow faintly at night, lit by networks of living tissue crawling through the streets. The earth breathes. It feels alive again, in a way nature never intended. The last transmission from the survivors doesn't sound like a warning. It sounds like a prayer. We are one. We are awake. Then silence. Static hums for days, and finally stops. The world has found peace, but not the kind you'd recognize. You stand in the ruins, looking at a horizon that moves. Clouds twist like muscle. Trees pulse with faint light. Insects carry fragments of the old virus, rewriting ecosystems. Maybe this is balanced. Maybe the apocalypse wasn't the end. It was the reset. The infection didn't destroy humanity, it absorbed it. The 7 levels of the zombie apocalypse were never stages of death. They were stages of transformation, awakening, spread, reanimation, collapse, evolution, overrun, merge. Each one closer to something the world had never seen. Life that refuses to end. Thought that refuses to fade. And somewhere, deep underground, a single monitor still flickers. On the screen, a brain scans pulses with light. The neural signal loops endlessly. 3 words repeat across the display. We are awake. We are awake. We are awake. Subscribe to Think What If for more worlds you should never forget.